Welcome, friends. Welcome back to the kitchen. Welcome back to another episode of what was on sale at the grocery store. Um, Skinless, boneless chicken breasts. Something that I never buy, but it was half price. There's a whole bunker full of them, and I thought, there's a few dishes that I think I can make that'll make them palatable to me. I always find chicken breasts to be kind of dry and dull, and I it's one of those things like those thin, fast fried pork chops. You really have to have a sauce to go along with them to make them palatable. To me, anyway. And I'm also someone who doesn't like brining a chicken breast to make it juicy. I really find that that whole process makes the chicken kind of rubbery and over salty, and it doesn't bring a texture that I like. So I pretty much stay away from them, and I will always use chicken thighs. But when it's half price, I'm going in. So I've got some chicken breasts. They were 3 to a package. I've pulled the tenders off, so they're separate. In this pie plate, I have some flour, and to that I'm going to add pepper and some salt. I'll shake that around, give it a little bit of a stir. You don't have to be too crazy with it. And then I'm just going to toss the chicken pieces in the flour. Coat them a little bit. Again, they don't have to be super coated. You don't have to dip them in egg or anything like that. And here I've got a cast iron pan that I've heated some oil in, and I'm going to put in the chicken breasts and sear them and cook them through. Now, not all of these chicken breasts are the same thickness. And the tenders, of course, are quite a bit smaller. So I'm going to put the thickest one in first. This is the kind of preparation where you want the chicken cooked through 95% or more cooked through before you make the sauce. Because with the sauce, you're really only just heating it a little bit. So I'm going to put them in sort of staggered, make sure I can cook them all the way through without overcooking some. And then we'll move on to making the sauce. Okay, the chicken is cooked. If you have a hard time knowing when meat is cooked, get an instant read thermometer. Very helpful, always exact, no guesswork, and especially when you're starting out. Very important, because the timing in the recipes, when they say, you cook something for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, the timing is never correct. Get a thermometer and learn how to use it, and eventually you won't need to use it, really. Eventually you'll start to understand how your cooktop works, what the temperature levels mean, how long it's going to take to cook something like this. But starting out, this is invaluable. Pan is still on the heat. We've got some great fond in the bottom. I've got a couple of shallots that have been diced up. In they go. And some diced sun-dried tomatoes. These are packed in oil. And in they go. And just kind of get them going a little bit. Now, I'm not trying to get any color on the shallots. I just want to sweat them down a little bit, soften them a little bit, kind of get them, the edges translucent. If you don't have shallots in your fridge, which is fine, I realize I'm a bit of an anomaly. I always have shallots in my fridge. Regular onion work just fine. Don't sweat it. Don't worry about it. Realistically, this is or should be bargain meal. We're using stuff that was on sale. I also realize that sun-dried tomatoes fall into that same sort of category as the shallots. If you don't have sun-dried tomatoes, tablespoon of tomato paste. You're gonna come to the same spot, almost. Not quite. You'll still have that tomatoey flavor. You may not have sort of the depth of flavor that you get from the sun-dried tomatoes, but it's gonna work out. It'll be just fine. It's a really easy substitution, and 99% of the time, no one's gonna say anything. Now, white wine. This is a bottle of white wine. This is Pearl Morissette, winery down in Niagara, Ontario. Kind of a cult winery in Niagara, Ontario. So this is a white wine. Their wine is a little bit difficult to get a hold of. Julie and I opened this bottle a couple of nights ago to great fanfare. Thought that we were going to have something really special, and it turned out that we didn't really like it. It's kind of good. It's not excellent. But I think it's going to work really well in this because it's going to bring some acidity. It's going to unlock a lot of flavors. The alcohol unlocks flavor. And so it's going to bring out the tomato flavor. It's going to be great for scraping up the fond on the bottom of the pan and unlocking that chicken flavor in the fond. If you don't have white wine, don't want to cook with white wine, don't want to cook with alcohol, that's fine. Leave it out. Up the amount of chicken stock that you're going to use so that you have the same amount of liquid, and then put in a tablespoon of vinegar. Again, it's not the same place, but you're going to come pretty close. So we'll scrape up what's on the bottom of the pan, and then we'll start to add chicken stock. In goes the chicken stock. Now, in the vein of that white wine, cognac or brandy instead of white wine in here would bring an incredible flavor as well. And if I was using brandy or cognac, I would put it in and then I would flambe it. And that sort of caramelizes the flavors and brings a different depth of flavor to the whole dish. And that too would be unbelievably amazing. Now, it's just on kind of a low simmer. I've got it on 5. This cooktop goes to 10. I'm going to put in some red chili pepper flakes, just a pinch, just to give it a little bit of something, a little bit of zing. And then I've got some whipping cream or 35% whole cream, and I'm going to put that in about the same amount as the wine, maybe a little bit more. So we'll stir that together. A little bit of a simmer going on there, not too much. And the chicken goes back in. Along with the juices. The lid goes on, and we leave that for about 10 minutes, low simmer. Okay, so this looks pretty good. What we're going to do now is grate some hard cheese on top. Parmesan if you want. I don't really like Parmesan. I prefer Pecorino. So in with some Pecorino.
Glenn's got an opinion on everything. Hey, friend. Hey, Glenn.
Pour a little bit of that wine there. That's the wine that I used.
Oh, then it should go with it.
It should go with it.
Were you drinking out of tumblers today?
Yeah, that's...
It's a tumbler kind of day?
It's a tumbler kind of wine.
Oh, well, there you go. Fair enough. All right.
So you could serve this with, you know, all of the usual suspects. Mash, rice. You could put a little bit of, you know, plain pasta.
Got some sauce there. You can put that on all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, you could put a little bit of plain pasta in the bottom of a bowl and then slice the chicken on top with the sauce. It'd be
Throw some vegetables in it.
great.
Yeah, throw some vegetables. I don't know if I'm just kind of hanging out here waiting.
Okay, here we go. There we go.
Thank you.
Give it a go, Jules.
All right. Dun, dun, dun. It looks hot. Looks moist. There you go. Cut your own. There you go. Cut your arm. Oh, Pam?
Yeah, it'll be hot out of the pan.
Nope, I can taste the wine. It's nice and moist.
Yeah. Cream sauce.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of hit of that flavor from the sun-dried tomato.
That's the, okay.
The chicken breast isn't as dry as I often find chicken breasts to be. So when I put this in the frying pan, I did cover it.
Okay.
And so it was sort of frying, steaming. It wasn't really doing one or the other, but it to cook it through because these are fairly thick.
Just based on the fact that you've got sun-dried tomatoes,
Yeah.
I think olives would probably go on there pretty nicely because it would have that same kind of salty hit that you're looking for. That
Capers.
yeah, capers.
Capers would be really good. You know, and like I said, instead of the wine, I wonder if the wine actually does. If it does taste better.
Tastes good in the chicken.
Yeah.
So perhaps it wasn't meant for.
It wasn't meant for whatever we had it.
Whatever,
Yeah. So cognac or brandy, flambe it.
Oh,
and
yes.
Then, and then put the cream in.
Hurrah! Flambe!
I like that. And the chicken was half price.
Hey, even better!
So you can't beat half price. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.
So, based on your extra stacking, I'd say you like it.
Yeah, I do. Yep.
Pretty good.